Welcome everyone, and this is a new mention for March 2025. This is about ChatHPE Hub, how enabling secure and scalable AI transformation at HPE. So we have today three speakers with me. I'm very pleased. We have Jose, Manmeet, and Manish. They will talk to you in just 5 minutes by the time I get to the intro, and we'll discuss how we implemented ChatHPE within HPE. And they'll give you all the details to understand how this was implemented. So before we do that, let me just remind you that the HPE developer community has now three webinar programs that we run on a monthly basis. We have this one that you are attending now called the Munch and Learn. And this was created more than 3 years ago now. And it was really about thought leadership and more or less product and vendor agnostic type of sessions. Not always, but we tried. You can find the calendar of those events on this website here. And I know Denis from my team in the background will put all the links in the chat or in the Q&A. We have a session planned for next month on April 16th. It's going to be about observability, and it's called Day N plus, sorry, a new way to look at observability. So if you're interested about the observability subject, keep in mind this one. Unfortunately, I have not yet created the registration link for this. I just got the final title today, but I will do this in the next 2 days. So you'll find that in the Munch and Learn page, and you'll have a link to register. We run another more technical type of sessions called the meetups. And again, monthly, we've been running those for the last 2 years, more than 2 years. We talk about a particular product, a particular open source project or more. We have a session planned for March 26th, that's next week. And it's going to be about observability as well, because we're going to be drilling down on a thing called eBPF. If you're not familiar with that, that's a good reason to join the session. It might change the way we do observability in kernels. So that's quite an interesting session. The speaker for this one is going to be Neil, which you heard about, I think it was in January, about the evolution of observability in the last decades. I don't have a session yet on April, but I have one for May, and that's going to be on Compute Ops Management API, some updates on new things available, and some developer tools available. So if you're doing anything with Compute Ops Management, that's probably a good session to join. Finally, you might have noticed that we didn't get an AI Jam this month. The story with AI Jam, that's the most recent program we started. It was started in September. It is a little different because it's a panel discussion with 3 or 4 experts on a particular AI subject. So we didn't have a session in March, but we are planning for one in April on the 23rd. Topic is not yet fully defined. I will update the Get Real with AI Jam series page once this is done. On each of these pages, I didn't mention on the meetups, the Munch and Learn, and AI Jam, we also provide YouTube links to the replay. So a couple of days after the event, you'll find the replay available if you missed that session, or if you want to send it over to somebody that missed the session. So both registration and after the event, replay is available there. That's for the webinars. We also have another way to do skill up with the dev community, and this is called workshops on demand. So this is more like to get access to a platform and get your hands dirty or get your hands-on experience on different topics. So we have a catalog of 30 workshops, 30 plus workshops, 34, I think. We use Jupyter Notebooks as an experience for delivering those and running code within sales. And you can find topics such as, learning Docker, learning Kubernetes, learning Python, learning Rust. So some programming languages, some open source projects, some product as well, like OneView and ILO and other things. So another good way to learn. If you give it a try, provide us with feedback. It's always good to know, what you would like to see in this catalog, what's missing. or if you like the experience or not. Finally, I'll just say that this is a community, so it just works with you, and if you contribute to it by, for example, amplifying and the meetups, for example, you can always invite people. This is an open webinar, so you can forward this to, colleagues, friends, customer, of course, partners, family, friends, students at university when the talk is interesting for them. You can sign up for our monthly newsletter. We send this once a month at the beginning of the month, and it's a good way to stay in sync with some of the deliverables we have, whether this is blogs or webinars coming up. We have also a Nick's Twitter account that you can follow, and we also have a Slack workspace dedicated to HPE Dev community. So we have more than 50 channels in there, and people are, for example, the Aruba developer community is also there. You can ask questions, precise questions about a problem you're running into when building something, integrating with something, or running some code. If you're an SME, you can also help with blogs. We have a open source CMS, content management system, which is quite easy to use and only requires a GitHub account. And you can then submit a blog, and then we can go through a review process with you on GitHub, and when this is all done, we merge this into our website. So very easy to build another blog. So if you're a subject matter expert, you want to talk about something and share it with us and the rest of the community, reach out to us. You can also help us deliver a meetup, for example, or even build a workshop on demand if this is something we're missing in the catalog. All right, so these are all the links for the dev community. Developer.hpe.com, that's kind of the basics, and you'll get everything out of that. But then you have also Denis is pasting all the links in the chat. And you can also use that QR code if you're into QR code scanning. And with that, let's get started, and we'll hand it over to Manmeet. Thank you.
Thank you, and happy Munch and Learn Day. Thanks for having us here. So let me just do quick introductions. We are part of the HPE IT team, and I run the AI portfolio within HPE IT. And we'll talk a little bit about what our scope is, but at a high level, we think about it comprehensively from, providing a platform, having a governance structure, and then also enablement through use cases. Now, I'll talk more about that, but I have with me Jose, who's our solution architect, as well as the platform lead. And we have Manish, who is another team lead that works on our platform. So let me just quickly get into what we're going to get through today. We're going to be talking about ChatHPE, our internal platform for GenAI productivity, our journey, why we kind of decided to come up with this platform, how we are thinking about expanding it. And it's not just about, providing a platform, but it's also about scale. It's about making sure that we make the best of HPE, infrastructure that we have available with Private Cloud AI. Some real world applications as to what use cases we think about that we can build in a pure hybrid architecture with leveraging both cloud as well as private cloud capabilities. And then we're going to talk about new features and our roadmap, etc. also. So without further ado, let's just jump into it, right? So like I said, our portfolio is not just platform, it actually encompasses all three: platform, governance, and an enablement through use cases. We started our journey back in 2023. HPE has a very big history of really goodness in data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence. Whether you look at it in our products or even internal functions. So there's some great work being done on the marketing team and the sales team and the operations team already. But in 2023, when the GPT models really kind of changed the dynamics, where Gen AI really became kind of the AI tool for the masses, right? Not just for developers, not just for engineers, there was a challenge for IT to figure out how we now take this and allow people to really innovate and then make use of these technologies, but in a secure, controlled, governed manner. And so that's why we kind of started the journey in 2023, building out a standard platform, which is now ChatHPE. There was a governance team established. So HPE has again a long history of thinking about responsible AI. We have an ethics team that actually helps with policy decisions across the US as well as abroad. But when we started this journey, the AI governance framework was kind of strengthened further to leverage cybersecurity, privacy, HR, legal, as well as IT all together in one body, the governance body that actually helped assess use cases from a risk perspective all over the company. And in addition to that, we established AI leaders in the business units and functions so that they could actually assess the strategic alignment and then the ROI as well of these initiatives. And then IT works on enablement of the use cases as well. So that's the three pillars that our organization focuses on. And from a platform perspective, it was important for us to, IT is all about three S's, the way I think about it, right? So it's about security, which is our primary focus. Then it's about scale, and it's also about standardization so that there is reusability, at an enterprise level. So that's why we kind of built the ChatHPE platform to provide all of those aspects to the company. And again, hybrid cloud was always in the back of our minds. We wanted to make sure that we could build something that actually instills the confidence, provides the right controls, provides the right guardrails for the company so that when people are using these tools, they are not worried about, hey, will I lose my IP? Am I exposing customer data? Am I exposing any other confidential information? And so we started with public cloud as our starting point, just because we wanted to get some proof points out there. But ChatHPE then expanded to an engine which orchestrates across both public cloud as well as private cloud. And we'll talk a little bit more about it. But ultimately, what happens is, you can pick the best of both. You can actually, in public cloud, do inferencing at a decent cost structure. But if you wanted to run heavy workloads, you could actually leverage the private cloud environment that you have. So that's the advantage. And then from a security perspective, also, there are certain workloads that maybe have a mandate where you cannot take them to public cloud, whereas there are certain workloads that there is some flexibility. So again, the ChatHPE environment provides that kind of flexibility. That was kind of the reason we built this out. Now, when we built this, there were other options to think about from an industry perspective. There are third-party providers and tools that do offer some capabilities, but we did not find anything that was comprehensive back when we started our journey. And even today, when we look at it, it's all about cost and control. So the optimal balance of cost and control is something that we still think ChatHPE provides, and we are continuing our journey. But we'll continuously assess our roadmap. Now, a little bit about where we are today, right? So today we have 10,000 plus users of our UI. Now, there are two flavors. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But we have a UI, which is for general purpose, and we have a set of APIs that we provide developers to build approved solutions that have gone through the governance process. For the UI, again, we have about 10,000 plus users at this point in time that use the application. We have, about 320,000 on an average monthly interactions, and these interactions are distinct sessions created. It's not every message. If you look at every message, it's a lot more, but it's distinct sessions that are created on a monthly basis within the application. And we do some surveys. We also have our AI leaders within the business units run their own surveys. And by and large, there's always scope for improvement, but we've gotten positive responses from a user satisfaction perspective. And we've also seen, people talking about time saves in their daily activity, whether you look at marketing teams creating content, whether you look at project managers trying to consolidate and, summarizing team meetings, etc. We've heard anywhere from 4 to 8 hours of time saving on an average for active users, so people who use the application actively. Now these are survey results, and we see other tools coming in, but I think ChatHPE still provides a lot of benefit. We continuously look at keeping up with some of the features that are introduced by public, providers like Gemini and OpenAI and others, and try to introduce those features. But we have to vet it through our security standards. We have to customize solution. And the whole architecture, the way we've built, Jose will walk through it, but the whole architecture is modular, where it's a layered architecture, that goes that allows kind of some amount of flexibility for people to also build their solutions. So just a little bit about the journey before we get into some technical details. We started this pilot back, actually a proof of concept back in October of 2023. We then quickly got some proof points, went into a beta release in about 8 weeks, expanded to about 200 users. At that point, we were on our Azure tenant. And then from there, by the end of next fiscal year, so by the end of October of 2024, we had about 6,000 to 7,000 users on the platform. We had 20 applications within HPE using our APIs, and we provide comprehensive authorization, authentication, guardrails, logging, monitoring in an anonymized manner, as well as quota management. From IT perspective, it's important to kind of manage cost. So everybody is assigned a standard quota, and then individual business units that want to leverage the application for API, for initiatives, they can actually set their own quota depending upon their budget. So it's completely configurable down to the individual level. So we can do that. And as we expand this year, as I mentioned, making sure that we can actually provide these capabilities broadly, not just to developers, but also to the entire population of HPE, to 60,000 plus people, is our goal. And we do that with the PCI infrastructure. This is where PCI helps us with cost optimization. PCI will help us with solution accelerators. And the other big thing is going to be more and more embedding of HPE knowledge base within the application. And we do that with, we have a knowledge management program that we are looking to kick off in parallel, that will allow us to embed that knowledge into ChatHPE. And obviously, it doesn't state it over here, but in 2025, nothing is complete if you don't talk about agentic. So we are also working actively on the right agentic architecture to kind of enable use cases again within IT. And there's a lot of work across HPE that is happening around agentic. So combining some of those initiatives and then integrating it with the ChatHPE story is going to be key for us this year as well. This is just a quick screenshot of the application. It looks and feels very similar to, again, your Geminis or the ChatGPTs of the world. But again, security is key. End-to-end comprehensive security, policy compliance, making sure that we can actually validate that as well. So this application, again, has been vetted by cybersecurity, by IT comprehensively. And every time there is a new feature that we add, we make sure that we take a look at any potential, additional guardrails or any other strengthening of the application that we have to build. So, for example, we released, or we are looking at releasing, the image generation capabilities as well. And there is a different set of guardrails that we have to look into as we release that. All right, let me hand it over to Jose, who can then talk about the architecture a little bit.
Thank you, Manmeet. Thank you. So this slide shows the overall architecture. It's a high-level architecture that shows all the many different layers. We have separated out the infra layer from the backend layer. So let me go through each one of them. Okay. In the infra layer is where all the clouds resides. It's the PCI, but also all the commercial clouds that we leverage building our multi-cloud environment. So the backend layer combines the on-premise hardware with the public cloud resources, achieving comprehensive security. The capabilities of on-premise plus the scale of the cloud. The synergy between the two is made possible by express route connectivity. It bypasses the public internet and provides a dedicated, secure, and highly throughput link between the two. We also use containerized microservices for each of the AI functions. These allow us to really scale specific workloads like text generation or data extraction independently. Key tasks such as model inferencing and data storage live in this layer. And everything is encrypted at rest or in transit. What this means? This means that if the data is stored on cloud or on-prem in a NoSQL, for example, or traveling between data centers or within cloud, is always secure. As Manmeet pointed out, we have a key integration with our HPE PCI. This is our on-premise resource is based on the Private Cloud AI product. This let us host tools and models on-premise for elevated security, of course, and data sovereignty, and at the end, allow us to orchestrate deployments across the environment in a multi-cloud way. So the orchestration automatically allocates resources to prevent bottlenecks, and of course, it's going to keep performance consistent even during user spikes. We move up one node to the service layer. This is the most critical and more important layer of all, because this is where we have the AI functionality. Let's start with identity and access management. We make sure that every user that is using the platform is authenticated and is authorized and provides valid tokens. We also have AI guardrails, which I'm going to address later. So logging and monitoring, every prompt and response that is captured via logging and monitoring is encrypted and stored that provide us with a detailed audit trail and real-time operation insights. Quota management is also an important feature. We keep usage fair and cost-effective by leveraging quota management. So we limit the amount of tokens each client can make in order to have a fair and safe AI. Going downward, composite GenAI services. So these are complex services that take a lot to build by individual application of users. We package them together in a composite services like RAG that I'm going to talk real soon, and how we leverage PCI RAG. And also deployable agents. So we can span the capabilities by deploying agent within the platform. Beneath that, you find the core GenAI services, which is text generation, embedding, summarization, and all new services that come into play. This will power our all and everyday usage across the board from the AI point of view. So this layer orchestrates effectively these AI functions while maintaining and upholding the highest level of security and compliance. If we go one notch, API management. This is the entry point. This is a gateway. in which all developers and applications will interact with our platform. And it has a lot of great features. First of all, it's OpenAI compatible. So OpenAI APIs has become an industry standard. Any inferencing server really provides an OpenAI API interface, so we are using that industry standard as well. This allows you to minimize changes because typically developers start the developing process by using OpenAI APIs. We also do traffic routing and localizations. This is important because we're going to send the request to the nearest data center to minimize latency. We also do rate limiting and throttling. Important, right? To safeguard the applications. We manage so the impacts and malicious overuse. And we ensure that the platform remains stable by implementing rate limiting and throttling. Also, we do on top of that version of lifecycle management for the API. Will also matches with the application lifecycle management. So this ensures that new feature releases don't break existing clients' applications. And lastly, we provide a developer portal, which comprises of documents, tools, samples, and on top of that, we implement governance and policies, which dictates which specific models, guardrails, authentication, the specific applications should use to ensure compliance. Security is key. And ChatHPE has incorporated all the industry security and compliance best practices. We really partnered, and this is, I think, a key lesson that we would like to share with you. So partner real quick with your cybersecurity team. They are your friends in this journey. The cyber team really helped us quite a lot in defining what are the key security postures that we should honor for ChatHPE with currently positioning internal. The list of the items here in this slide, zero trust, end-to-end encryption, RBAC and logging, et cetera, that we implemented. We also have a straight collaboration with the AI governance team, making sure that the AI practices compliance with the HPE security AI policies, and any application that goes to production follows those AI practices, enabled and guaranteed by the ChatHPE APIs. Finally, one thing that I would like to mention is the session concept, which all interactions are packaged in a self-contained session, which is totally isolated for other sessions and other user level. These allow there is no bridging within the sessions, even for the user. So allowing that we're not clouding the water of the content from one request to the other, completely coupled. As you see right here with all that we have shared, security is paramount for AI. And we have designed ChatHPE in order to exceed the typical enterprise requirements. As I mentioned at the architectural view, guardrails are implemented within the architecture and enforced for each request. Guardrails are critical for any mature enterprise AI application, and every provider these days implement them in some form or fashion. However, when we started this journey, there was not a lot of options for guardrails, so we needed to build most of them for ourselves. Now we're looking at out-of-the-box solutions and then switching back to out-of-the-box features. We prioritize certain guardrails. So our application is internal. So we prioritize that specifically for the internal posture in which we are. And we always stay aligned with new best practices and new risks that comes from implementing additional applications. If we discover new areas, then we add additional guardrails. Also, one key topic, guardrails really introduce some performance overhead. And we always try to minimize that to the minimum. As things grows, as application grows, more demand, we want it just to be a small fraction of the request. But also, we have the feature of differentiated between mandatory and optional guardrails to balance that security versus efficiency. So our API offers the option to make them optional in close coordination with the AI governance. Again, guardrails are critical. You need to plan for it, and you need to design and implement them truly. Why ChatHPE? At the end of the day, ChatHPE is a GenAI platform that provides the capability of use different models and AI services without having to reinvent the wheel. It's a reuse structure that allows organizations really to focus on what they should do, really inject, embed AI to all they do in order to really move the needle in terms of the priorities of the organizations, while IT then create these tools in order to accelerate the value. As a summary, we provide authentication, guardrails, logging, monitoring, so that teams, businesses don't have to build those pieces from scratch. This is the biggest advantage. While using ChatHPE, you're going to make sure that you're in compliance, you can accelerate and focus on building applications. And talking about applications, we have 40 applications plus in production these days, from compute to marketing to operations to sales. And they're all actively using our APIs. I listed some examples at the top, but I would like to really pivot into the center one, the managed service team, because these represent a great use case. This team leverage both the UI assistant, but also the API. The UI assistant for really quick research on relevant code or configurations, and the API where they integrated with ServiceNow. When a new ticket comes, basically what happened, they can query directly ChatHPE within ServiceNow, which is answers, recommendations, and at the end, streaming support for the customer. From my point of view, this is a perfect illustration on how one team can leverage both, right? The UI, the friendly UI, and direct access to API, and embedding application as well to a system of records application software ServiceNow. Let's talk a little bit about how we leverage HPE Private Cloud. We are currently orchestrating workloads between the commercial cloud and on-premise. As I'm going to explain later, we recognize the value of benefit of having on-premise present and hosting modules, AI systems within on-premise in order to keep your IP private, and also for data sovereignty and other particular cost-effective issues. So let me talk a little bit about Private Cloud AI. I'm going to highlight a few points. This is not comprehensive. The objective is not to really drill down into Private Cloud AI, but let me highlight a few. So it's a comprehensive turnkey solution designed to accelerate deployments and productivity of artificial intelligence. It embedded with NVIDIA. So it provides a self-service access to NVIDIA AI microservices NIMs, and also provide a layer of solutions and software and tools that HPE Essentials provides. Based on our estimate, it can enhance your productivity up to 90% by having everything integrated into a single platform. It provides unified data access, so you don't have to scratch your head about how I'm going to access data sources here and there. It provides a layer with connectors that allow you to do that. Also, it's enterprise ready. It provides the confidence and control of the AI enterprise layer and infrastructure with model protection, authentication, authorization, and reliability. It also provides a hybrid cloud experience. Modular. You can go on-prem, you can go on cloud, and it's designed based on a hybrid environment. It's secure and private, as we have discussed. But also the two last key points are the ones I would like to highlight the most. Scalability. So it's been built with scalability and modularity in mind. And this is how we're benefited from PCI within the ChatHPE applications. It's a perfect hybrid environment. So you can scale your AI project while maintaining control over the cost. So you can start small, for example. This is one of the key questions that I always get. Should I get a large? Should I get medium, small? I think you should size your entry point based on your current workload, but you don't have to be concerned. You can seamlessly scale without affecting your running applications, ensuring that your operation remains smooth while you scale up or you scale down. The second key point is virtualization, which I love the most. So you can virtualize GPUs as long as all your specific components. So GPUs are your most expensive hardware within your system. So by virtualization GPUs, you can assign a percentage of GPUs to particular applications, really making your decision about using GPUs a cost-effective decision, improving cost and utilization. So all these benefits, we are integrated into ChatHPE and providing a hybrid cloud environment that ChatHPE used in order to orchestrate workloads that are hosted within the cloud, commercial cloud, but also hosted on-prem with PCI. And here, just a quick view about the different flavors and about the compute associated with the different flavors, small, medium, large, what you can do here. I'm just showing this as a reference. I will not talk about it, but you can look at the PCI documentation and you can learn and you can browse the specifications and what are the specific servers and features that it has. I think the key point that I would like to do here is, so the key feature of PCI also is that it is already integrated, already embedded, and already designed perfectly to work on your specifically AI loads. There's a temptation in the industry of building this from a scratch up. No, I will get servers, I will get memory, I'm gonna put GPUs, I'm gonna integrate together, I'm gonna build my software. Believe me, this is gonna take months and months of you try to do it right. This is where you have to trust HPE on how we build the systems in partnership with NVIDIA, with the workloads. They work seamless and really get the most out of the hardware. Invest your time in the value proposition and not building system. Let us HPE help you. I would like to highlight now the solution space, which is I think a key accelerator for you to use. So HPE PCI includes a lot of accelerators designed to help you quickly develop and deploy sophisticated AI applications. Rack Essential, which is the one that I'm showing here, is one that I would like to highlight that we leverage within ChatHPE. It combines retrieval techniques with generation of models, enhancing the performance, and provide ways to ground your model in order to increase the accuracy of your AI applications. Let me share with you our story. So we initiated building our own implementation of Rack using commercial cloud components. Initially, it really took us 2 months to deploy Rack and get everything right. However, we leveraged the same approach by leveraging Rack Essential. It took us minutes going throughout the specific windows in order to create a Rack Essential that meet our needs. And then it took us basically 2 weeks to pivot from the one that we have implemented to the one coming from PCI solution generator. And it was a significant time saver. Hope that we have had this before we started this journey. We have started with Rack Essential and really saved 2 months worth of work. So again, solutions are your friends. Accelerators are your friend. Again, the value is about embedding your applications with AI and getting the benefit. Even though platform is great and we love platforms, Meet, Manish and I, the value proposition is using the platforms and systems in order to really move the needle within the enterprise. So let me give you some pointers for you. So in ChatHPE, as I pointed out, we orchestrate between PCI deployments and hybrid deployments. And what is our secret sauce? How we do this? So high sensitivity data, of course, we go on-prem. PCI allow you to meet a specific data security tailored to your needs, and your data remains protected under your firewall. In other cases, you have regulatory compliance. So if you keep your models On-prem, then you achieve data sovereignty and meet data sovereignty lost. So you ensure compliance with local and international regulations. Third point, IP protection. You would like to safeguard your existing and future intellectual property that are generated through your models. So your training and deploying of AI models should be done on-prem in order to really protect your IP. Also, data gravity. If your data is on-premise, moving that data to the cloud release is not cost-effective. And by doing everything, your training, your deployment, and your inferencing on-premise, then you're going to keep your everything, your data and your models within on-premise. Again, a big cost simplification and complexity simplification. Also, lower latency. We have seen our experimentation that we can tune models and inferencing server in order to really match the needs of our applications. And we can do more with less if you compare the private cloud with the public cloud. So private cloud is an excellent choice in order to really tap on applications that response time is critical. Okay, then why we're doing orchestration? Well, there's a benefit of using the cloud, of course. So the hybrid cloud will provide the flexibility, right, to move workloads across the board. For example, one instance that we always do is when we're training our own models, we use on-premise GPUs, which are cost-effective and better. And then we move non-sensitive workloads to the cloud. And ChatHPE can do the orchestration based on the configurations that are provided when deploying applications in ChatHPE. Some of them say, no, I need to use only on-premise. No, I'm allowed to use on cloud for these specific models, for these specific services. Then we follow those configurations in order to orchestrate. So the idea is ensure cost, efficiency, but also security, keeping your IPs on-premise. Let me show you a snapshot, next one, of how we do this real quick, just to give you a flavor of how it comes. So this is the same ChatHPE that Manmeet showed, right? For applications that allow orchestration, we show at the top the possible orchestrations available for that application. In this case, we're saying, okay, for doing RAG, this application allowed you to use PCI Llama models, so Llama model hosted in PCI, and allowed the solution, the PCI solution. Then here you see, right, that other applications will only use Azure GPT, and basically others will only use Llama. So we're giving you some pictures here to show how this is being done at the ChatHPE level based on configuration and how it's going to allow that particular application to use a specific services on-premise by PCI or on cloud. To finalize, I would like to really share with you our key learnings that we have had so far. First of all, training. Training is critical. Training. These are new tools. And training goes in two ways, right? How you can develop application using ChatHPE API, which we are simplifying, but also how to use these models. There are some constraints about these models. Some of them are not trained based on your data. Some of them might provide hallucination. All these things are important that you train your enterprise based on how to use these tools. The data privacy. So we have talked extensively about data privacy, scalability. This is why we use PCI and the cloud to scale. Developers need to master prompting engineering, and model grounding is important. But also domain knowledge adaptation, how you create a knowledge management across your corporation, whereas you can bring your intellectual property, your data, your marketing data, your human resources data, your sales data into a knowledge corpus, a knowledge management system that then you can convert into a form of fashion that can be consumed by models for doing grounding. Context is critical. So if you don't do context, most likely then your answers might be having a lot of hallucination and the orchestration layer that we just shared. Those are key learnings that we're sharing with you in order to help you accelerate your journey. And talking about training, so there are ways that you can enhance by providing tools to the entire user base on how they can experiment on using models and rack solutions. So I would like to introduce Manish. Manish is going to take us to what we call ChatHPE experimentation, which is a tool for that goal. Thank you, Manish.
Thank you, Sam. So first of all, I would like to congratulate all the team members who have leveraged ChatHPE AI Hub for building these amazing applications. As I mentioned, we have more than 40 applications running now, implementing some amazing use cases. We are amazed at how progress is being built and what amazing use cases are being solved. At the same time, we hear you when you say that there's a red tape involved when we have to go and get access and to build this. So we are here, and I'm excited to introduce our latest initiative, ChatHPE Experimentation API. The purpose behind this initiative is to accelerate AI adoption, foster innovation, and empower developers to explore and evaluate GenAI capabilities seamlessly. This initiative is available for all HPE developers and provides a monthly credit of 2 million tokens for each. There's no approval process and there's no need for any access. It is available to all. ChatHPE Experimentation API is a subset of ChatHPE AI Hub, offering a selection of most commonly used functionalities. So this allows developers to experiment with key features and gain valuable insights before moving on to more comprehensive capabilities available in ChatHPE AI Hub. Details regarding access, documentation, and any other questions that you might have, we will be providing this to you during our formal announcement of this initiative. So let me begin with some key highlights from this initiative. So we aim to drive innovation across our organization by facilitating rapid experimentation and validation of diverse AI use cases. Our secure APIs empower all developers to explore and evaluate Gen AI capabilities, ensuring that your experiments are safe and compliant with built-in security and privacy safeguards that come out of the box. We are committed to fostering collaboration and knowledge sharing through accessible AI resources with the wider community. This is where you get a lot of notification about trainings, what's happening in the community, some sharing, and office hour sessions. We encourage everyone to explore the GenAI capabilities offered by ChatHPE through this initiative and validate the AI use cases that they might be considering. Once the value of use case is established, developers can then go through the AI governance process to gain API access for ChatHPE AI Hub, which is much more comprehensive in nature. Please note that ChatHPE Experimentation API is intended solely for experimentations and should not be used for integration with any application. Currently, we are supporting GPT-4o mini model for chat completions and text embedding models such as small and large, in addition to ADA. We will be adding more models in the mix very soon. During the formal announcement, we will also be sharing some key links which would help you get onboarded to this particular initiative. One of those key links would be access to developer portal. So there's no access required again. Everyone who are internal HPE employees should be having this access. So we have published exhaustive documentation on our developer portal, which is accessible to everyone. You can find detailed explanation, code snippets, information regarding parameters in the documentation. As seen in this slide, the left-hand side displays a list of all available APIs. On the right-hand side, you'll find detailed explanation of each API, including code snippets and information about all the parameters that could be required while making a request. We have also added a feature wherein you could just, in a toggle of button, you could just choose your favorite programming language and then leverage the same APIs and start experimenting. We have been conscious of citizen developers as well, so we have tried to make it as simple as possible for anyone to just start looking at them and getting started. We also have reached out, given information on whom to reach out in case you have any questions. So these are some code snippets and samples that we have provided. We will be publishing a repo, a GitHub repo as well, where you can gain access to such samples, which you can leverage and then build upon for easy use or consumption of these APIs. So talking about the APIs, the requests are highly configurable, allowing you to control parameters easily to leverage the most out of the LLM calls. The API offers AI governance mandated guardrails. We have logging, session management, authentication, quota validation, all out of the box. This means you can focus only on building your use case while we take care of the rest. We are providing a very secure test bed for all your experimentations. The seamless experience that you saw with the APIs that we are giving, we have made sure that you can get the same experience while making calls using your favorite AI frameworks, such that LangChain. So by passing the experimentation endpoint, your request is routed to the model via the ChatHPE experimentation API, so that you could leverage the benefits that this particular framework gives, enabling a smooth and efficient developer experience. We have much more coming in the next few days, so please watch out this space for more announcements. And to conclude, the ChatHPE Experimentation API is an initiative towards democratizing GenAI innovation that we believe will drive innovation and help you unlock the full potential of generative AI. We are excited to see some amazing use cases coming out of this initiative, and we look forward to your feedback and questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Manish. So, the ChatHPE experimentation APIs are a long time coming. We've heard a lot of requests for those. Right now, the capacity is a little limited, but we will expand it further. We're working with the IT Office of the CIO to kind of gain that capacity and expand it further. But thank you for the time, and we're open for questions if there are any.
Thank you to our speakers. I think this was a very interesting session. I get it that it's a little bit complicated to handle the internal only questions, and sorry about that, because this is an open audience. But I think it's also a good way to understand how HPE IT has used PCAI. So it's an excellent use case. And you shared quite a lot of information about that, so thanks a lot. I put up the end of session poll, so people, thank you for taking the maybe half a second that it takes to answer those 3 questions. This gives us feedback, and we can adapt based on that. We will make the slides available as PDF. We will make the replay available within a few days. And this is all going to happen on the Munch and Learn page. So remember the developer.hpe.com URL. Put it in your favorites so that you can find these things. And with that, I think well, we have a couple of questions. Maybe you want to take an answer live. I don't know if this is feasible, Mamit or Jose or Manish. Like, somebody is asking if you could do fine-tuning as well through the APIs, because you showed chat and embedding. Is fine-tuning another use case?
So the experimentation is only for completions at the moment, right? We might in the future evaluate if we need to add embedding as well. But the objective of experimentation, ChatHPE experimentation, is to get you familiar with how to leverage an API. Fine-tuning is more a solution because it's a complex process of doing fine-tuning that in the future might come as part of the PCI solution or as part of the ChatHPE solution that you can use.
There's one more question about PCAI and how we can use it for customer delivery. So I think, look, I mean, I think there is a whole other set of documentation on PCAI. We can probably put it on the chat as well. But our journey was, we started off with the cloud, but very quickly realized that in order to scale, in order to make sure that we have the right accelerators, in order to make sure that we can actually facilitate use cases that require or have sensitivity, we needed a solution like PCI as well, right? So from a customer perspective, I'm sure, Dieter, we can offline provide some information, but PCI has been pretty powerful for us.
Thank you, Mehmet. I think we're going to close the call now. Thanks a lot to our speakers, and thank you everyone for joining. We'll talk to you at the next webinar. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.